Okay. So I can add this file descriptor. Into my game struct. Let's call it just good old FD. And then we can drop that. No more closing here or here. Well, game FD. Game FD. Yo, Hamster, what's up? I submitted my game project today and it passed. But there was one guy who's a really good student who was gracious enough to let me pass, even though like there was definitely some places where I could improve things. And there was definitely some things that I did that were a little bit redundant. But after having a conversation with him, I feel like I understand a lot more. But at least it's done. Now I'm just making some minor tweaks just to kind of like honor what he was describing, because there were certain things that I really probably shouldn't have overlooked. But like, I mean, you've been with me through this process, so you know how fed up I was by the end of it. So we're going to close GameFD. Not surprised there's some mess in Rush to me. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like there was aspects of this code in particular, like I'm trying to think about when I created and wrote this file. And I feel like it was 2 months ago. So it's like, why did you do this? And I'm like, you'll have to ask my past self, because I don't know the answer. That's not really what I said. I like tried to talk through it as best I could with whatever I could recall. But yeah. This is why comments are good. I know, right? But like you can see I have the formatting tool based on the formatting rules enabled. If it was for me and I could just code the way I want to, I'd be like, this is this. This is that. But it complains. Comment is invalid in this scope. So like the only place where I can put comments is at the top. And I mean, I could put them above the functions, but I don't find that as helpful. I like putting them in the relevant location, which might be annoying to look at for some, but I see it everywhere. So, I don't know. As long as the end user doesn't have to deal with it, like, who cares? But I don't think there is a good reason for it. Like, if they don't prevent it now, then the students are going to go out into the workforce and start putting comments everywhere. Like, it's just a known fact that you should never have comments in your code if it's going into production. But none of this is production code. This is code at a school being exchanged and evaluated by students. So, I don't know. I don't understand some of these rules. One of the justifications was we have a very particular style, and therefore you'll be able to recognize people from our school out in the wild. It's like, hey, Ink, welcome. So one of the problems I had was when I try to get next valid line, at this point, I have opened the file descriptor, and it's good practice to not leave file descriptors open if at any point something goes wrong. So, what I should be doing is, can I write a check in my error code? Empty line and function. What? I think by default, when we initialize values, we will initialize file descriptor as not 0, but -1. Then, when I reach my error code, in the case of an error, I will say if game fd does not equal -1, then close game fd. Missing tab for indent level. What are you on about? Liar. I gotta turn that shit off. Get out of here. Okay. That way, because when we were going into getting our valid next line, there's a potential fault if you have an invalid character. And if I go through this logic, then I come out, I handle a bunch of freeing of memory, but then this wasn't here, so I would just exit. And then this file descriptor that I opened was never closed. And in larger scale projects, that could be problematic because there are only so many file descriptors that you can eventually open. In this case, I only ever open one file descriptor in addition to the standard 3 file descriptors. So it would never really be a problem, but it's just bad practice. So like, I'm trying to put these repos public on my GitHub so that if people look at them, that they seem, or rather they get the impression that I'm competent, ideally. I mean, I am competent. My thing worked. It's just there were areas of improvement, and that's the whole reason why you have a hierarchy in a corporation. There's juniors and mid-levels and seniors, and they all do code review and they help each other get better. And that's exactly what happened today. Want to always close files on error, even if you might think the OS closes them on program exit? Yeah, exactly. So now, let's take my test map file, and I'll put a wrong character. Oh, generate map. Oh, right. I didn't update my functions that are supposed to be receiving this. Excuse me. And this actually should have close game FD. Although, is this going to result in a double close? We'll find out. Get next valid line no longer needs to receive. Also, read and process buffer. Get map width height, get next valid line, read and process buffer, generate map. Should no longer directly call for file descriptor. Python has best practices like that. You always wrap file open in an exception thing so faults auto close it, even though technically you can always open file without exception wrapping. Yeah, actually, the person who was calling this out to me was describing, because he's starting to learn Rust, and he has the same, he made the same discovery, is that you're kind of given this package when you go to open a file, and you're not just directly opening the file and getting like 0 or 1 or -1. It's returning a result, which you then have to unwrap and like identify certain characteristics. It kind of reminded me of promises in JavaScript. When you go to make a request, you receive a promise, but when that promise is successful, there's an inline data object within the promise object that you can parse through and find this information that you need. It makes sense, but I don't know. Sometimes in these projects, you kind of get lost in the sauce, and you just can't always focus on every little detail, and things slide. Which is why working in a team environment is so important, because people catch each other's mistakes. Getting valid line does not need this. Read map. Too many arguments in function call. Right, I don't need to pass this anymore. this. And this. And anything else? Let's just run the test map, for example. And then we will val grind with show leaks, or show leak kinds, all leak check equals full, track FDs true. Oh, is it not true? What is it? Yes? Son of a bitch. Track FD? Use dash help for more information. It's a good job. I'm good looking because, man, I'm not high enough IQ to keep up with this convo. It's fine. It comes with practice. I didn't know anything about this a year ago. Track FDs in Valgrind. Track FDs equals yes. Did I not write that? What the hell? Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Track FDs, yes. Oh, I'm spelling leak wrong. Son of a bitch. File descriptors, 3 open at exit. Map is too small. Map is too small. Huh? What do you mean map is too small? Invalid read of size 4. Validate map. Line 11. But the map isn't too small. I just developed a weird habit as a kid reading tech and coding manuals even without fully understanding, so I only sort of get things. Fair enough. I would say that is my what is the Latin? Latin modus operatus. My MO. Stop being fancy. It's my MO where I sort of understand things. Computers didn't exist when I was a kid. Back in my day. I mean, you're pretty savvy from an IT perspective overall. Took apart the toaster and oven though. I mean, that works. Drove mom nuts. Hilarious. Why? Why is this happening? Test map. .ber. What size does it think it is? Can I LLDB and Valgrind? No. Of course not. Getting put in front of an Apple II with basic manual and elementary turned me into a software nut. You guys got Apple IIs in elementary school? What the hell? Fucking California, dude. Not Valgrind. That's so sick, though. Like, I think the first time I had access to computers, I mean, it was in elementary school, but they weren't necessarily computer classes. We went there and you could play like this circus game. It was like, I don't know, it was like a chill out period. It wasn't like a do get something done. Hey, is it? I keep saying Luku, but is it Laiku? I keep assuming it's Finnish, but you're in New York. But hello. It is Finnish. Okay, so Luku. Hello, welcome. It's going well today. I finished my game project and submitted it today, and it passed. But there are some areas. Yeah, Leiku. Nice. But there's some areas for improvement that I would like to change because I, especially with this project, I want it to be featured on my GitHub. So I would like to make the necessary improvements because there were some flaws. Test map. Main run. Oh. Well, thank you for saying thank you. That's nice. Where are all my ads? So what is game height right now? Game height 1. Huh? Why is game height 1? What did I do? Oh. Read map. Get map width and height. Hmm. What the heck? Game FD. What did I? It's an integer. FD is 3. Why did it not continue reading? Well, what did it look like before I made all my changes? Read FD. But I stored it. When I open it here. Get next valid line. Read and process buffer not found. Huh? So it's just not getting into the function properly? Why? Get next valid line. Read and process buffer. Oh, that only changed because I was trying to erase this before. But I want to remove this. Hello, Lorenzo. Welcome in. So now I want to read game file descriptor. Get next valid line will also not call file descriptor. Instead, get next valid line. Where are you? Oh, you're right here. That seems correct. And then what am I missing? Invalid character. Okay. That's better. Valgrind leak check equals full. Show leak kinds equals all. Track FDs equals yes. Invalid character, okay. Handle error, read and process buffer. So error line 12. Oh, true. I'm already freeing game. How could it possibly access file descriptor? Has to happen before. That makes sense. There we go. Now if there's an invalid character, the file descriptor isn't left open because my handle error logic will check to see if the file descriptor was set or not. Is this an open source project? No, it's a project for a school network referred to as 42, which is in Paris, but they have like affiliate locations kind of across the globe. So yeah. So we learn by doing projects with a curriculum. We don't have any teachers. All of our knowledge and learning is done through like crowdsourcing. So you kind of just have to be willing to engage with other people. And so I added an additional layer of crowdsourcing information and engaging with people by streaming. So I'm just kind of doing it double. So now the invalid character is solved. So if I wanted to run this like normal, it's going to be slow, but it should work. Off to go weekly shopping. Glad I could see an update on this project's completion. Nice, man. Enjoy the shopping. I'll see you next time. I should be on a little while longer anyway. But the plan is to take the wife swimming tomorrow. So can't be up till all hours of the night. But I'm thinking once I've made the adjustments that I wanted to make with this, then I might set it aside and we can play some Path of Exile 2. I want to level up to level 77 so I can start using that sweet bow I got. What's going on here? Oh, I didn't start the server for the Windows. Huh. What's going on here? Nothing. Just a whole lot of nothing. There it is. So then okay. So then the other thing to do there was a suppression file that a colleague shared at school. So if I clean up this, I'm going to create a file called mlx42.sup. Put that in there. And then I can run this again and add the suppressions option equal to mlx42 suppression file. So now it won't spit out. It spit out all the gibberish anyway. What the hell? Weird. It did suppress a lot. Possibly lost. MLX init. Start interface. MLX init calloc. Huh. Good luck with the coding. I understand nothing that I'm seeing. I'm sorry. That I won't be doing this forever. Like I said, I'm gonna hop on some Path of Exile in a little while. Apart from the forced content, I'm really enjoying Path of Exile too. What would you consider to be the forced content? I like seeing things I don't understand. Excellent. That was the goal. Because I like inspiring people. And even if they're not interested in pursuing it themselves, maybe they'll get a little bit more of an idea of what these machines really do under the hood and realize it's not so simple, but also not so complicated. Computers aren't as smart as everyone thinks. I'll be on PoE 2 later if you want to run again. I was able to level from 69 to 71. Nice. Hell yeah. Ascendancies? Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was complaining about this the other day. I really detest the trials of Sekarath, whatever it's called. I don't like it either. Cause I feel like I'm being punished for not being able to handle situations where I feel like I'm getting effed by RNG and my character isn't good at dealing with certain situations, that I don't get to have much control over the situation. Especially like it feels like almost every room you go into, they give you some shitty debuff that makes your bad situation even worse. Yeah, they act like they give you options, but all the options are bad. Yeah. It feels like what was that thing that they had in World of Warcraft? Tower, some kind of tower. But it almost felt like you had to do it. What is happening here? MLX init, and then load textures. But if in either case these fail to load, then I also want to free the game map. Torghast, yeah, Torghast was shit. Fuck that. It was fun in concept, but any idea of like having to do it to achieve things that felt necessary to progress, I hate. Like, it felt so out of place. Why is it still loading all this? Did I not type the... Like, this was working when I used it at school. It is suppressing a lot. But it's like other things are being left out. Valgrind gen suppressions equals all. So long test map. Why is there so much? Is it this? I need to get ascendancy points 5 and 6. We'll try for that tonight. Yeah. I was getting, even on my ranger, I had 2 coins to attempt with, and I just got destroyed once before I even got to the boss, because when I had opportunities to buy things that would help me restore my honor, I didn't realize that I had to go past the test of strength and then have a whole nother set of rooms for this like test of will. I didn't know that. I thought it was just doing the same set again. So I got screwed because I wasn't at all prepared. Feels bad wasting 45 minutes each time I fail. Yeah. And like at least you can reattempt in the first one. But after that, it's just annoying. Actually, I guess the 3rd and 4th points with the whatever that temple is, it's something you can also reattempt, but it was annoying. The will boss sucks. It's terrible. I hate it. Like, apparently you're supposed to prioritize the ice boss because the fire boss is easier to deal with, but either way, it's next to impossible to like find space on the ground to avoid their attacks. It feels so RNG. And again, this idea, like some people disagree with this. I don't know why. But in my opinion, you should be able to zoom out a little bit farther. You're trying your best to avoid all these mechanics, but then the bosses go off screen and you can no longer see them telegraph what move they're trying to do. Like, how, of course I'm not going to dodge the thing if I can't see it coming. Anyway. What is all this? So, like... Is DST? Oops. Okay, it doesn't seem to be changing what this is. Why am I getting so many leaks? For a list of detected and suppressed errors. Invalid right size of 4. Oh. Where's the summary? Hmm. Hmm. Hey, Cynthia. Hope you're doing well. What did I do? All of this should be fine. Good to know. Nice. Mm. Right. Image, no. Texture. But it's not erroring out. So why all the leaks? Did you watch the whole thing about Sweden?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's true.
Which part?
The whole thing. I was looking at the comments to see if somebody figured out if it was true.
The singing sailor thing? Oh.
But
Okay. Anyway. 430,000 bytes at exit. Why? I'm gonna double check my friend's project and compare it with mine. Something is amiss. Air handling, game images, image to window. Okay, no. Map init, map path, map content. Load image.
He's a cat man. He's a cat man.
Init game images. MLX terminate. Return. Init game. So what's in the main? Init game. If init game equals -1, free game. Free game. Error handling. Free game. If no game, return. If game map. While game map by. Free game map. Free game map. Game map equals null. Free game. Huh. I don't see why, like, this is not necessary. But then again, maybe it is. Because I'm allocating the texture with load PNG. And in this is a malloc. Oh, but in this function, it frees. So then texture to image. Mem move. MLX new image. Calloc. MLX free N. What the hell? I think I need to go back to square one because there was not so much weird stuff happening. libmlx cloned error 128. What is it complaining about? Permission denied. Ay, ay, ay. Where was that message again? Here. So it must be like a WSL thing. Oh, it is a WSL thing. God damn it. That's why I'm getting all confused. Some weird extra drivers that aren't being accounted for. So maybe if I just comment out start interface. Okay. Everything gets freed. That's good. So it's literally leaking just because of all these things in the graphics library. I thought that I had to use MLX delete texture because it deletes a texture, freeing it all of its allocated data. But then when I go into MLX load PNG, it makes the malloc for the image based on size of texture type. And when it's finished, then it frees it. So what does delete texture do? It takes texture, image, MLX new image. If image is null, return null. Texture height, pixel X, pixel Y. Return image. Oh, this is texture to image. Okay. Delete texture is taking the texture file and freeing 2 bytes. X amount of pointers. So 2 integer pointers. And whatever else. Huh. Free VA args void star. Amazing. It makes me feel like I don't even need this. Where's the library? GitHub MLX 42. Textures are disk-loaded images in memory and hold a buffer of pixel data along with information about images such as width, height, bytes per pixel. Can be interpreted as a color palette, create by loading an image from disk, contain the pixels, width, height, and bytes per pixel information. Do not get displayed to the window directly. Carries more information besides what the image buffer is, such as instant count. Texture, load PNG, texture to image, image to window, and then delete image and delete texture are optional. Terminate will clean up any leftovers. This is just to demonstrate. What is he talking about? Yo, what's up? Oh my god, it's already 10:30. The hell? Where's the time go? Um, well, at the very least, if an error was to occur, he was of the impression that I should free my map that's allocated. Which I think is fair. Because if this image was set back to null when we reach this point, I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting. It's going to show way more leaks than I want. Because I don't know how to suppress things in WSL. It'd be a lot easier if I was at school on their machine, but... Bah. Failed to convert texture to image. Right. Yeah, I don't know. Because the problem is that this would only delete the texture of the texture I'm trying to work with at the time. Actually, no texture even gets made here, so there's nothing to delete. So it's only relevant here. But then... I want to go back and fix this FD thing again. In our error handling, before we free the game, we want to check and say if game FD is not equal to -1, then close that file descriptor. And while we are reading the map, we're going to set it in the struct as opposed to a local variable that we pass around. So it doesn't need to be declared there, and everywhere else that we see it, we will point to the structure. Well, not in this case. These get removed. And then within getNextValidLine, it's kind of redundant to set it as a parameter in these functions. So we can just not pass it because we're already passing the game struct. So these are not necessary. Generate map. Get next valid line. So anywhere that we have int fd, we no longer need. Error. Where? Here. Read game fd. So based on all those changes, we're going to start. Well, let's comment out the interface and just make sure that everything else works as it should. Failed to open file. Oh, true. Validate map line 10. Conditional jump depends on uninitialized value. What? Validate map 11. I mean, there's no reason to close it here unless we hit an error. There's no reason to open it again. We set it here. And yeah, we're not opening it again, so we don't need this error check either. Then we go to generate the map. And when we're finished generating the map, only when it completes should we close it, unless we hit any error along the way, which should now be capable of closing it before freeing the game here. Right? $208 bytes. Invalid read of size 1. Generate map, line 41. So that was another thing. Map at eye. This ranger makes me sick. You have a ranger? I'm spec'd for melee, no range talents at all. Cakewalking everything with a 1-link ranged lightning skill? What the hell? I was actually thinking about doing that. The, what do you call it? Doing like a melee ranger, but it seemed counterintuitive to me. So I didn't spend enough time looking at all of the available passive skills to see how I could build it out. Melee Pathfinder, that's cool. Now everything is just breaking. Line 41. Invalid read of size 1. Mem copy. That seems fine. Specking into psychic fragmentation. What the hell? You're clearly exploring a side of the ranger I wasn't even aware of. Mem copy. Address 00 not stacked, mallocked, or recently freed. What? Generate map. Taking all them nodes should be comical. I don't know. It makes me want to explore and consider like changing up my build, but the lightning has been pretty crazy. But it doesn't feel like it has the same damage potential as other builds that I've seen. So overtuned. You mean your build or the lightning build? I wouldn't even call this a build. Yeah, fair enough. Lightning Rod is carrying me. Lightning Rod is so awesome. I'm glad I took it as early as I did because it's honestly been useful in so many cases, especially when I started making it electrocute. That extra stun to just keep them in this like AoE of chaining lightning is really good. Invalid read of size 1. I'm so... Mem copy. Size TI, if no destination, and source. If no destination or source? Map is not rectangular. What do you mean? Yes, it is. Oh dear. Invalid type. Oh. No? Invalid type conversion. Okay, so can I just say expression must be modifiable L value? or n equals 0. Oh, right. That didn't help. Well, what's wrong with this function that I am being returned this error? That's what I had before. Oh, it's saying it should be or. Well, that's what I speculated before. But now I made this change earlier, but my results are unexpected. I am trying to parse a map of characters, and I'm returning the error that says the map is not rectangular, but it is. Incorrect lengths being recorded. Oh. That's true. Hmm. So I can't. I can't use string duplicate. because it's printing the new line character, which means the last line of every map will always be one short and throw an error. Wow. Crazy. So that means instead of making a map allocation, well, I can make the map allocation, but then I don't need to allocate the individual lines, do I? Do I? But then when we're validating, we're setting the width every time we get a new valid line. No, only the first time. When height is 0, we get the width. So the width will always be based on this line. But then because there's no new line character on the final line, it's technically one shorter than the rest. Or was it just because I had new lines here and it was counting the other ones? Maybe that's what it was. No. Map is not rectangular. Where was it? Test. Yeah, so now the map has nothing. So when we go to validate, So here, it's running a string length on the current line and checking it against game width that we stored in the struct. So I guess that's why it's saying that it's not rectangular. It should hit it on the very first iteration, right? Indeed. Break at get next valid line. So we malloc 2 bytes. Read and process. Game file descriptor 3. Okay. If bytes read. Where's bytes read? 1. And we see the number 1. It's a valid character. We string join. Free line. We get a 4th one, and we get a 5th one. Now we have the new line character. If the buffer at index 0 equals new line character or null, we break the loop. Free the buffer, return the line, and the line contains the 5 ones. Okay. String length. Game width 5. Add 1 to height. Free the line. What the heck? It seems like it's working fine. It's reading the same line over and over again, or did I just happen to get to the last line? That was the last line, because there's no new line character. So this line contains 5 ones. So then we go down to generating the map. No string. What the hell? Why not? While get next valid line. Maybe the check should be the same as it is up here for down here. But that was a while condition just for getting height. But once we established height, we knew how far to go. So I picked up Radiant Grief Helm. And you be griefing on all that undead? Ignited for 100 damage. What the heck? Yeah, I was gonna say, you're still igniting them, and ignite causes gas. So you can just drop gas clouds and cause constant explosions.
Drop gas clouds.
I'm basically Michael Bay. Yeah, exactly. If you get backed into a corner, you just keep using poison gas and like bang, 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 bang. You clear everything.
You just keep farting.
Excuse me. So I have a thing that I called map. And the thing with get next valid line is read I think read always remembers where it was. So then when I come back to get next valid line again, it's starting in the wrong place. But how was I making it work before? Oh, because I was using a local file descriptor value. Shit. Okay, so I went overkill on the removal of file descriptor things. So revert, 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 revert. And in the functions, revert, revert. Everything else should still work as I intend, but I should be passing like a preserved file descriptor so that it knows to begin again. Because I open it a second time. And then I pass it. That's why I close it multiple times. Oh, oops. What happened there? Oh, right. I've commented out the graphics. So it's just doing its thing. It's just running. Actually, I suppose we can still comment out the graphics, but I should be running this with Valgrind, not just straight up. Valgrind leak check equals full. There we go. Now it's not claiming that the map is not rectangular. Because the second time when I go to generate the map, I'm trying to work off of the same file descriptor I've already been reading from, and it's beginning to read from the wrong position when I thought it was beginning anew. Because I'm a silly goose. But I'm doing an extra close now, which means somewhere I need to strategically not close. Invalid file descriptor -1. I could just add an extra line in here that says game FD is FD. As long as it passes this check the first time. Ideally, it should pass the second time, question mark. Maybe we have the space and we just do it again to be extra. So in both cases where we open the file, if for some reason it provides some other file descriptor, then we're closing the right thing. And if all goes swimmingly, then we will close it here. So now, what else did I have to fix? Within the loading textures, we're freeing the map. What else did he say I should improve? Ensure textures are freed. Close FDs in handle error. Checking the file name. I almost forgot about that. Actually, the other thing also he said I should do, when I go to initiate values, I could just is null the same as 0? I can't remember. But I can say ftb0 game size of tgame. Then specifically set file descriptor to -1. Because that's not a real file descriptor. It's just kind of like acting as a flag. But then if I set it to something meaningful, I'll close it. And then the game map equals null. What the hell? Oh, because I put the interface back. Oh, this again. I guess I technically didn't type error here either. So many little things. Necessary characters. Error. Right. It was the here. So check that it's .ber. I think I can reuse this logic. Or maybe I just need to expand. What characters does my friend look for in her project? Main Validate file. Oh, if it's less than 4. That's a good check. Smart. FT string length data argv1 is less than 4. Less than 4? Less than 5. .ber null. Let's try it. Failed to open file. Less than 6. Makes pointer from, oh, is it doing size T? It is doing size T. Son of a bitch. I know it's more portable, but like, ugh. So size T6. Const char star, but argument is of type int. What? I guess I can just make it a separate check. Oh yeah, I want to check directory. If Can I just typecast this into an int? Am I going about this the wrong way? Comparison between pointer and integer. What do you mean? Oh, I put the parenthesis in the wrong place. You dumb. God damn it. Invalid file name. Conditional jump. Handle error, line 10. Does it ever end? If game FD does not equal -1, close FD contains uninitialized byte. Are you telling me that it's trying to close it? How is it being satisfied? Invalid file name. Game FD does not equal -1. What does it equal? Oh. Because initial checks happens before init values. You son of a... Get out of here. Ah. I'm just going to insert it here. After we successfully initialize game, then game FD equals -1. Oh, dot notation at this context. No? Must have structure unit type. Dude. Why are you doing this to me? Is it parenthesis? Parenthesis. Fuck. There. Oh my god. And just like that, there goes my night. But if I make this less than 4, yeah, it doesn't catch it. It needs to be 5. .ber and one more thing. Whatever it is. I'm not going to go so far as to qualify the characters, because I think if you try to make... Like if I wanted to touch !.ber. Yeah. Touch map.ber. That's acceptable. So the system just rejects you if you use invalid characters for file names. Nice. Oh. Minor tweak. Oh, did I leave the frickin' graphics on? Oh my god. Son of a gun. Um, this is a directory. What do you mean this is a directory? Maybe I should use FOK. Not a file. Okay. File checking bug fix. Oh no. Messing up my own thing. Oh god. Funny. Oh boy. That was fun. Um it's basically bedtime. So I think I'm going to call it here. I had intentions of playing PoE, but I wasn't expecting to take 2.5 hours to make all these bug fixes. But it was worth it because I feel like I have a more improved, better polished, refined product. Not that it's a product that'll be for sale, but I think it will serve as a good example to peers who want to see what a project should potentially look like. There's probably some other things that I could do to make it better, but I've done enough of the things that I feel were necessary. So I feel good about myself. But yes, anyways, thank you for the lurkers. Thank you for the people hanging out. I appreciate it. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, so I mean, I might stream, but there's definitely going to be like a pause at midnight because there's going to be explosions everywhere.
There's gonna be explosions.
There's going to be explosions all night, but like there will be explosions that I want to see at midnight because it gets crazy and fun, and I get to kiss my wife. So I normally never get to do that. This is the one time a year where she can put up with kissing me. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you again soon. Peace. Out.